finding what your purpose is will help you do whatever it is that you want to do, even when the times are the toughest.
Mm.
Um, and I think that's what has helped me with staying with Precious Cargo for so long and building up Precious Cargo for so long. I have seen plenty of doulas come and go. The work
Sure.
that we do is definitely hard work. It is definitely hard. As an
Mm.
entrepreneur who did not have any money starting out, who did not have any knowledge of what entrepreneurship was, um,
Mm.
if it wasn't for my purpose, I would have let this go a long time ago. It
Yes.
took me a while to find purpose, and to be able to define my purpose. But I'm very excited and grateful for the journey because with all of the journey, I have learned so much, and I know that there's
Mm.
so much more for me to learn, and so much more for me to establish within my purpose. And when you were saying that the purpose driven life, it definitely brought me back to church.
Mm.
Those sayings of building a kingdom business,
Mm.
and having that Christ-like lifestyle.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's how we built Precious Cargo. Through
Yeah.
prayers. If you bless me with this is for the people. This is for the
That's
better
right.
of your
Yeah.
kingdom. I like to
Yeah.
call it hood discipleship.
No doubt. No doubt. I'm with you. I'm
Because
with
I'm
you.
from, if I haven't told you, I'm from Eastern North Carolina.
Come on. I'm with you. I'm with you, sister.
So
I'm with you.
I have to remain me. I want to
That's
stay
right.
true to my roots.
Come
And
on
at
now.
the end of the day, I just want to make my ancestors proud.
And, and I'm gonna tell you, you're making him proud. So let me bring a correction to that. His name is Rick Warren. Rick
Gotcha.
Warren, A Purpose Driven Life. So Rick Warren, sorry about that in the beginning, folks. His name is Rick Warren. That's the correct name of the author. You know, as you were talking about it, and you was talking about how hard the work is, I can't even imagine. I think I've seen images of a doula at work, whether they were in a pool, whether they were, is it typically done in the pool or in a setting of water, or does it have to be in the water or?
So the beauty of doula work is we get to create the birth experience that the family wants. So if
Okay.
that family wants water birth, we're in the water. If that
Oh,
family
wow.
wants a birthing center, we're at the birthing center. There's hospital births, there's home births, um, there's all kinds of births.
Wow. Wow.
And it's so beautiful.
Listen, it takes a special person to do this because when the first thing you think about water, you think about everything that's going to come along with that extraction of the baby coming out and it's in the water. So as a man, I'm sitting here like, I don't know. But the spiritual connect with that. How do you keep yourself safe in situations like that? How do you stay safe, and how does the mother stay safe in an environment like that? Because that has to be, when we think of childbirth, when we think about hospitals, that's the first thing people want to know: safety, safety, safety. So how do you protect yourself, and how is the mother protected during a process like that?
Yeah, so luckily, we're in Greensboro, North Carolina, and our women's hospital actually has birthing tubs in the
Come on,
hospital.
I love it. I
So
love it.
I know it. These are new tubs. They were just
Okay.
installed during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Mm-hmm.
ceramic. They're completely, of course, cleaned and
Yes. Mm-hmm.
sanitized. So we follow the procedures and protocols of the hospital.
I
So
love
no
it.
high risk births are allowed to be birthed in water.
Okay.
Instead, if you would like some hydrotherapy, you can always have a shower chair in the bathroom. And so
Okay.
moms can just sit and let the water hit on them.
Oh, wow.
And this is a way that we can stay away from pain medication
Mm.
during that time. So we're still under the doctor slash midwife supervision when we are doing those
Okay.
water births. So
Okay.
that's a way that we can protect ourselves, making sure
Yes.
that we are following evidence-based data, not just because somebody
Mm.
says, I don't want you in this tub. We we need some data behind that. Why are you
Right
saying
on. Right on. Right
that
on.
she can't get in this tub
That's
when
right. That's
she
right.
has had a clean bill of health this whole time?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, working in healthcare, we're still fighting systemic racism. Um,
Mm.
there are
Yes.
still people who believe that Black women do not feel the same amount of pain as the white woman.
Mm.
Um, there are still people who believe that we exaggerate how we feel at times because
Mm.
we just want some of the pain medication,
Yeah.
quote,
Hmm.
air quotes, unquote.
Mm. I
Um,
got you. Hmm.
yeah, so it's all about protecting that whole enviroment when we're
Yes.
talking about the
Yes.
physical environment, the spiritual environment, as well as that emotional environment.
Mm. I'm so glad you brought that up. I witnessed all of my children being born. I was in the doctor's office, and just based off of what you're saying with that, to witness C-sections, to know, I'll be honest with you, I think when little Chris was born, I remember his mother getting the epidural, the shot within the spinal cord. And I
Mm-hmm.
just remember the sound that came out of her once they put the needle in her. It wasn't a yell, it was a groan, it was a moan. So I can't even imagine that pain. I actually had to leave out because I actually almost fainted. I actually got
Mm-hmm.
lightheaded while in there, and I had to actually leave out because it was just too much to.
Mm-hmm.
So just from you saying that, I just can't believe that that's still the narrative that's out there. You know what I mean? Would you say this would be a better option for Black women if they wanted to do that? I mean, I'm not sure for all women, but specifically our people. Would you say this would be a better option in your opinion, just based off your perspective, in your opinion, as a professional in this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think so. I would say that water births do seem more calmer for
Okay.
women. I think that the certain type of woman that wants a water birth is already very much so sound and knows her body. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think
Okay.
that this is a woman who has already done her research,
Sure. Sure.
and is in that space to be like, I am a woman, I can do this without
Mm-hmm.
medication. Now,
Okay.
you are still a woman giving
Sure.
birth, even with the epidural.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I like to tell my mothers that at Precious Cargo, of course, this is the birth that you want. We do
Yes.
not judge. Western medicine was created for a reason. So
Mm.
if you would like to use that Western medicine, this is how I can support you through that.
Okay.
And so we've had mothers that have had epidurals. We've had mothers who had no epidural. We've had mothers in water. We've had mothers without water. We've had mothers twerk their baby out. We've had mothers
Oh wait. Well,
in
hold
the
up. Hold
bed
up.
the whole time.
Wait a minute. Wait a second. Hold. Precious. Wait a second. Hold up. Go back. Okay. Did you say twerk?
You heard me. I said twerk. I said they took that monkey until that baby came out.
Lord, I can hear the music. Dun, 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 dun.
Literally
Oh,
time. You gotta think about it
wow. I got you.
we are having. This
Yes.
birthday party. This is a
Yeah.
celebration.
Twerk that baby out. I'm with you.
Shake that monkey. Do what you got to do to get that baby out.
Oh
Our
man, I
main
love
goal
it.
at Precious Cargo is that you have a positive birth experience.
Man, I love it. I love it. And I'm sure, so far, I love that. When you said it, I just got tickled. But I think this is such a great conversation. There's so many other questions that I want to ask you. What would you say, what were some of the most rewarding moments for you in some of the work that you're getting out of being a doula? What's the most rewarding aspects of this?
The most rewarding aspect is when I'm visiting a family postpartum and they look at me and they say, "I thank God for you. I'm so glad that
Mm,
you was here. I don't
yeah,
think we could have done it without you." And although I
yeah.
know they would have had to do it without me,
Right, 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 right.
it still means the most.
Yes.
We had, so I'll tell you a story about baby number 56 because it's so fresh
Mm,
and it's so
yeah.
new and I'm still like on cloud nine. Um, and it happened Sunday. Um,
Wow.
the mother had been pushing for 4 to 5 hours and she already
Mm,
had her epidural. And this is her
mm,
first child. And she's like, Precious, I don't want a C-section. I don't want a C-section. And so the physician comes in and does a vaginal check and is like, hey, the baby's head isn't moving down and you've been
mm.
pushing for 5 hours. We don't know if it's because like your pelvis is too small and baby's head is too big. We don't know if baby is stuck or wrapped around a cord. We
Wow.
really don't know. So we're just going to go ahead and like we're going to ask if you could get the C-section because you've been at it for a while and we know that you're
Yeah.
exhausted and you're tired.
Yeah.
And the midwife and the nurse left the room. They were like, we'll let you speak to your husband and speak to your doula. And the mother already had tears in her eyes before the nurse and then the midwife could leave. And she just
Yeah.
had this look of defeat. And so they asked, they said, well, let's just pray. And this um, group of people, they were a different ethnicity than I.
Sure. Hmm,
And
hmm.
so I just wanted to let them lead with their prayer.
Yeah.
And so we're all holding hands, we're touching
Yeah.
and agreeing. And
Yeah.
it got real quiet in the room, so I did this right here. Like, oh, y'all want me to pray?
Absolutely.
I looked, I peeked open, and they were looking at me like, I
We
was like,
waiting on you.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So I did this prayer and
Yeah.
to be able to intercede and to be able
Yeah.
to pray. And I don't even remember the words that were coming out of my mouth. It
Mm.
just flowed so eloquently. And after we said amen, that mom said, amen. Thank you so much, precious. And
That's right. That's right.
she looked at the clock and it was
Mm.
like just turning 12. And she said, 12:30, we're having this baby. And she
Mm.
looked at me and she said, a contraction is coming. And she like got into this beast girl mode. And
Yeah.
she was like, "Ugh," and she was pushing with all her might. And sure enough, we're seeing the baby just keep coming down the canal. We're seeing this
Wow.
baby head just move, move, move. And she pushed that baby out within 30 minutes of that doctor saying, we're going to
Wow.
have to do a C-section. And I looked at the clock and lo and behold, it was 12:30.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I was about to shout right then and there.
I'm
I,
sure. I'm
I was
sure.
about to jump out my skin. I was in the corner like, God, you're so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Divine, you're so good.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's moments like that that have me, it gives me another boost.
Yeah.
I had four babies last week. One of
Wow.
them was placenta encapsulation, and I was up
Mm.
24 hours straight twice last week. And every time a mother said, I don't even know how you're doing this, I'm like, I don't know neither. It's adrenaline because I am just running off of the fumes and the fuel
Yeah.
that I'm getting from seeing these babies being birthed in a positive environment.
Yes, yes. That's so amazing that you're going, you're going, you're going, you're going. And I love what you said, your adrenaline is pumping because at that moment you're just in the mode of being a doula. Your
Yeah.
passion is kicking in. So everything
Yes.
about this you're loving. And I'm sure afterwards, I'm sure you was like, oh.
Indeed.
After everything was over with, you know?
Yes, I had to find
Yeah.
me a bed. I said, somebody find me a cot to lay down in.
That's right. That's right. Because it is quite a bit of work that you're doing while these ladies are going through this, through the childbirthing phases and stages of
Yes.
this. I saw an image where I saw a doula rubbing the back of the mother as she was in. Now, what does that actually do for the woman? I mean, quite naturally, I know, but I want to hear from you. What does that do for the mother when you're massaging the back and lower back and whatever you're doing at that moment?
Yeah. So doulas, we deal a lot with hormones within the body. So
Um,
during that
mm,
time, you want to increase oxytocin, which is that happy hormone that's in our
okay.
body, as much as
Hmm.
possible. And we do
Sure.
that by physical touch. We do that through aromatherapy.
Mm,
We do that through sound because what we want to do is connect all of our senses. Um,
understood.
to make you not feel like you're in the hospital and you're about to push out a whole human
Mm,
being. So
mm,
the first thing we do is attack those senses. So
sure.
that touch is comfort. That touch
Yes.
is letting you know that you're not here by yourself. Depending on what the mother needs at the point of time, maybe she is laboring in her back, so that counter pressure that you
Yeah.
may see doulas do, that
Yes.
helps with the pain as well. Um,
Okay.
the senses, the smell. So different essential oils I will use depending on what the mother needs. So a lot
Okay.
of
Okay.
times when those hormones are raging and we're about to go into that transition stage of labor, mothers may get a little bit nauseous. So now I'm busting out my peppermint oil to help
Yeah.
with the nausea.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that way it's not another medication that we're adding to this
Sure.
cocktail
Sure.
that we have
Oh
already
yeah.
created.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's also those senses, right? So maybe I'm bringing in some coconut or some shea
Mm.
smell. So now you thinking you're on the beach about to have a pina colada, not
Yeah.
that you're actually in the hospital. We're
Yeah.
bringing
Yeah.
music in, so you're keeping your spirits lifted. We know that music
Yeah.
brings in a certain frequency,
Sure.
and that frequency, I believe, has a direct effect on those hormones that's being
Yeah.
released as well.
Yeah.
So we're bringing in those sounds, um, the lights, dimming those lights, right? Like this bright LED light can have you on like, oh, I need to go. No, 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 we need you calm. So let's
That's
dim
right.
those
That's right.
lights. Let's
Yeah.
make smaller lights. Those things are important, and
Yes, they
those
are.
things are what we like to incorporate within our services to make sure that moms have a positive birth experience.
I love that. So it's almost like a little metaphysical action going on too with this. Uh,
Absolutely.
very, very deep, deep spiritual connection that you're having. Because once you said the aromatherapy, the essential oils, and things of that nature, I knew right then and there. I was like, wow, this is heavy right here. It's deeper than just you being there beside the mother. So many facets to this, so many different moving parts with this. So this is pretty amazing. And I brought up the metaphysical because I heard you say some of the terms that is used in that. Now, when you're doing doula, is there a portion of that that's implemented within this at all when it comes to your studying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, well, I would say that it may not have been a part of my certification process, but it has
Okay.
been a part of my personal journey as a doula.
I love
Um,
it.
Absolutely. So, bringing in those metaphysical aspects, I feel like helps me to not be bound as a doula, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So what I
Yeah,
mean
it
by
does.
that, yeah, what I mean by that is, um, although I am more comfortable with Christian practices, that does not mean that I can't service someone who is Muslim or I
There
can't
it is.
service someone who's of another religion. I
Yes.
think metaphysics helps broaden things, um,
Mm.
and it creates a language that I feel minimizes barriers.
Yes, yes. I love that. I love that. It's so out of the box. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And yeah, and you have to be in order to do this work. So, Precious, I'm gonna tell you, an amazing individual. Even when I think about your story alone, just your story by itself is amazing. But just this whole journey of you becoming a doula, what would you say to a person that was seeking to do this for a career, to do this as a job? What would be your message to them when they're first starting out?
Um, just make sure you know that this is what you want to do. Um,
Mhm.
there is definitely um huge journeys, and I feel like especially Black doulas, we're still
Mm.
trying to break barriers. Um,
Yes.
I
Yes.
like Erica Badu. I'm an artist and I am sensitive about my image. So don't
You
come
know what I'm
into this
saying?
doula world if you're not about it. You know what I'm saying? I do feel
Right
like
on. Yes. Yes.
I do feel like doula work was very publicized, especially with this last presidential administration that we had. Um,
Mm.
they did a lot as far as putting money and resources into the communities.
I
Of
love it.
course, with COVID-19, there was a bunch of doulas that came out of the woodwork.
Sure.
But with that, it's also like I feel like it's a certain code of ethics that we have to
Hmm.
follow as Black
Yes.
doulas. Because if we don't
Mm.
follow those code of ethics as Black
Yeah.
doulas, prohibit other
Mm.
Black doulas who are really about that
I see
life.
what you're saying.
Um,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
yeah, it was something that was taught to us during my training at the YWCA,
Mm.
because in order to break those barriers, there has to be some type of organization.
Sure.
um, so we don't want doulas just going up in the hospital, rah, 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 trying to shut things down, making the shade room news. No,
Oh, no, we don't want that.
we don't want that. We want
Yeah.
doulas who
Yeah.
are really informed about their
Mm.
particular area.
Yeah.
We want
Yeah.
doulas that are informed about legislation
Mm.
within their area. We want
Yes.
doulas that are collaborative with other organizations, and it does not have to be every organization because every
Mm.
organization just doesn't want Black babies and women to survive.
Mm.
So being very strategic in who your
Yes.
partnership is, as well as another thing that I am learning and that I am raising money for and saving money for is,
Yes.
as Black entrepreneurs, as Black business owners, as Black creatives, we have to protect our intellectual property. There has been
Mm.
too many instances within our history where our ideas have been taken without proper compensation. Um,
Yes.
and so that is the one of the biggest things that I would say: protect your brand, build your brand, protect your brand, and make sure nobody else is being stopped because of your brand.
I love it. Thank you for dropping those. I hope you guys heard those great nuggets that she was dropping. Get you a good lawyer. I always say that.
Yes,
Get you a good lawyer and have him ready. Okay. You
on
might have to spend a
retainer
come on, you might have to spend a little money, but it's gonna be worth it in the end, you know.
for
So
sure.
yeah, thank you for dropping that on us. You know, here recently I saw because I follow you. So here recently I saw where you were a lot of folks were giving to Precious Cargo. And I want to make sure that we give you that opportunity to tell the folks how they can give to your organization, whether it be Pampers. I don't know all the needs that you have,
Yeah,
but we want to put it out there where the folks can, you know, give to you. So you can tell the folks how they can give to your organization, Precious.
absolutely. So let me backtrack.
Sure.
I am the owner of Precious Cargo Doula Services.
Yes.
That is an LLC business. We provide prenatal and postpartum doula services. We also provide placenta encapsulation and childbirth education that's catered to Black, Indigenous, and people of color families.
Mm-hmm.
These childbirth education classes are different from others because
Mm-hmm.
this is focusing on the Black woman and teaching her how to advocate for herself in those
Yeah.
medical settings, which is super important because a
Yes.
lot of times we just don't feel empowered in
Mm-hmm.
those settings. And because we don't feel empowered, we stay silent. And that could be detrimental to your labor and delivery as well as your postpartum. So we want to make sure that we are helping those mothers in that. And we also have a nonprofit organization called the Precious Cargo Foundation. Now, this is new, Mr. Ross. I ain't had this the last time. I was
I
like,
know. That's why I'm loving it, girl. I got goosebumps over here. Okay, come on now, come
yes.
on.
So, with the Precious Cargo Foundation, we are able to give free resources to Black, Indigenous, and people of color families. We do that by having workshops where we educate families on different subjects like maternal mental health, SIDS awareness, C-section awareness, um, vaginal births after C-sections. We have a
Yeah,
whole curriculum that we go down. We also
yeah.
have a Black human lactation support group called the Chocolate Milk Club.
Come on
We
now.
come on now. We have those meetings quarterly.
Yes, sir.
It's a support group for Black
Yeah.
mothers who
Mm-hmm.
are, going through this breastfeeding journey and needing support. One of my
Yeah.
board members, Kamisha Walker, has a master's in human lactation.
Yes, sir.
She is a breastfeeding mother herself.
Mm-hmm.
So she is absolutely dynamite and a great
Mm-hmm.
resource to our organization.
Mm-hmm.
We also have community baby showers that we service families through.
I love that.
Thank you. These community baby showers, we pride ourselves on eliminating red tape. So these community baby showers are for anybody, no matter um, your tax bracket, because we've also found that a lot of the organizations that are giving away resources, you have to be high risk or you have to meet a certain tax bracket. But there's a
Mm-hmm.
gray area, and it's a gray
Sure.
area for me, for somebody who
Mm.
has graduated college, has
Yeah.
a okay paying job. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I still need help because this economy is not catching up to
Oh,
the
yes, sir.
pay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we we
Mm-hmm.
we ask families to just fill out a form. We ask them to RSVP to be pregnant or to
Mm-hmm.
bring their baby with them. And they are able to receive diapers, wipes, pack and plays, car seats, um, uh, formula, lactation supplies. We have breast pumps. We have a lot
Yes.
of things that we're giving away to families. And we
Mm-hmm.
actually have a community baby shower coming up here May 3rd um, at Peeler Recreation Center, 1300 Sites Ave in
Mm-hmm.
Greensboro, North Carolina from 11
Mm-hmm.
to 1.
Mm-hmm.
All families are welcome to come. We ask you to RSVP ahead of time so that way we can keep our head count together.
That's right.
And yeah, families can come. They can get the resources that they need. And we do this annually. We are always taking donations. So we do a donation drive the month of March. But if you have donations, let me get past this community baby shower and I will come and pick up donations. I am
Yeah,
one
cause you,
person. I'm
yeah,
one person. So
I'm gonna tell
sometimes
you,
I
you
have
be
to
out there too. Yeah,
rip
yeah,
it and running.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you can also make monetary donations to our baby shower by using our link on our website. The
Yeah.
website for Precious Cargo Foundation is preciouscargofoundation.org. And to
Mhm.
learn more about Precious Cargo Doula Services, you can visit us at preciouscargonc.com.
I love it, Precious. I'm gonna tell you, man, sister, man, I'm telling you, I'm so proud of you. To see everything that you've been able to accomplish. It's something I want to go back to that you said a few minutes ago. You mentioned something about the placenta. So I want to go back to that. I didn't quite understand the terminology, of course. I know what the placenta is, but it was something
Yeah.
else you said. So
Yeah.
can you elaborate just a little bit on that portion of it if you don't if you could please? And then we're going to
Absolutely.
yeah, and then we'll close out on a lighter note because it's another question I want to ask you, but it's a fun question. So let's talk about the placenta first.
Absolutely. So, what I was saying was the service is placenta encapsulation. So,
Okay.
I come to the home after the baby is born.
Mm-hmm.
The placenta we take home with us. Did you know placenta can be worth $30,000 to $50,000?
Okay. Say what?
And the hospital keeps them and like do research and take them to pathology. It's yeah, like if
Wow.
we were on the black web, we can hustle that percent of 30, 50,000
What
out
are you talking? I was
of
doing
it.
the numbers in my head. You done did how many? 56?
But with Precious Cargo, we actually advocate for mothers to take the placenta home and
Mm,
we create products off of that placenta. In
okay.
Western medicine, and we digest a lot of animal product and not even know
Sure.
it. So with us and with Precious Cargo, why not use your own organ that you created to help get your nutrients back into your body.
Yeah,
So the
I got you.
placenta, yeah, the placenta is an organ that is created at time of conception and it grows within the body and the woman dispels this organ right
Sure.
after giving birth to the baby. This
Yeah.
organ provides nutrients to the baby the whole 9 months the baby is in.
Wow.
So if I am creating this organ and it
Yeah.
expels, I may feel deplenished, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what we do is the placenta has a great source of iron that helps with postpartum depression. Um,
Wow.
Mammals, 95% of mammals consume their placenta after giving birth in the wild.
Mm,
Research research before thought it was because of environmental, so prey
mm-hmm.
won't come and feast
Uh-huh.
on the baby, on the young. Um,
Understood.
they thought it was protecting the environment, but more later research has shown that it's helping the mother. The mother consumes the placenta, so mother has energy to help that young survive in the wild.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
we take that same concept and apply it with Precious Cargo.
Mm,
Um, those placenta pills helps mom with lactation supply. It helps
okay.
mother with again postpartum depression. And
Mm.
it helps mother with iron levels. A lot of us black women, we do not have mood swings and we do not have an attitude problem. We don't have iron. We are low in our iron and other nutrients in our body is
Oh
a
my
direct
God.
reflection of that. So take your vitamins, ladies. Uh,
I love it.
so we get those
Uh,
products into our bodies, into our mothers.
yes.
We create a
Oh
women's
boy.
broth by the drippings from the placenta. It's
Mm-hmm.
a tea that a mother can drink right then and
Oh
there.
wow.
We
Wow.
create the peels from the placenta. We
Mm-hmm.
dehydrate the placenta after we cook it.
Mm.
And then we grind it up and we put it in our own capsules. And mothers
Wow.
are able to use that as a vitamin.
That
We
is
also
beautiful.
create a tincture from those placentas. So, like how grandma back in the day used to have those tinctures in her cabinet, we create
Yeah.
those tinctures so that way, after those pills are gone, women can even use the tinctures in their menopause stage. Um,
Wow.
yeah, it gets deep. We also advocate for mothers to, I talked about earlier, the ancestral tribal ways that we honored our ancestors. So I've
Hmm.
been to and created rituals where we bury the placenta on land that family has owned and we put a fruit tree
Wow.
over it. And that's giving reverence to our ancestors and our
Wow.
past family trees. So the placenta
Sure.
actually looks like a tree.
Yes, it
Um,
does. Hmm.
you can see the veins look like the
Yes.
branches and the vines.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
we can see directly where our ancestors was like, we need to bury this. We need to
Yeah.
give this back to the earth and we need to reverence our ancestors. So I think
Mm.
about that scene in Wakanda where he always goes to that ancestral tree
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
to his father.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
advocate for all of those things. So take that
Yeah.
placenta home, ladies.
Yeah, it's amazing how so much knowledge in this. The knowledge that you're dropping about the placenta. I remember I'm gonna reflect back to when my
Mm-hmm.
oldest my oldest daughter was born. I got in there right when she was coming out, so I missed the birth in a sense. But what I did see was what happened. What I did see was the placenta on the plastic. So
Mm-hmm.
quite naturally, I was in my 30s, I think I was. I was like, ugh, you know,
Yeah.
but but, but when seriously. But when I think back to what you were saying, the veins was in it. It does look like a tree as it was just laying there, as they were getting ready to take it. Who knew? I definitely was ignorant to that. Know that there was that's actually health for the mother to replenish
Yes.
back her, everything that she's lost. You give it right
Mm-hmm.
back to her, those nutrients and everything that she needs. So that's pretty amazing. And then we're going to make a little lighter note on this. There was something that I saw here recently as you were talking about the part of, I want to make sure I say it correctly, lactating. I
Yeah.
guess that refers to breast milk, correct? Am I right on that?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
as they were, okay, come on, Ross. Okay,
You
Ross, all
know
right,
it.
come on now.
Beep,
Come on now. So I was watching something on Instagram here recently, and there was a gentleman, there was a husband and wife. This is a lighter note. It's kind of funny, but it may be kind of informative to basically this conversation, to what you were saying earlier about the nutrients. So this lady, you might have seen it, Precious. So a lady's,
beep.
her breasts were engorged and they were getting ready to go on a carnival. I think they were going on a cruise,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't know how to get rid of she was just engorged and she forgot to pump, her breast before she left. So her husband came up with this. Her husband, he began to
Help me, please.
he began to suck on her breast to get
Yes.
the milk out of her to help bring some relief. And
Yes.
believe it or not, it did. So on the
Yes.
flip side of that, he was saying how some of the illnesses and sicknesses that he was having, they were like going away. He was talking about how his skin became smoother. And of course, when you don't know, when ignorance involved and people being silly, it's like, oh man, that's gross, that's nasty, whatever, whatever. But to your point, you're right. That gives right back to, what are your thoughts on that? I really want to know from your perspective. What are your thoughts on if something like that, happens and a husband needs to help his wife? Do you see anything wrong with that?
Absolutely not.
Mm.
We can definitely, there's so much in the world that we can sexualize.
I know, I know,
And
I
I
know, I
don't
know.
think, yeah, and I don't think breastfeeding is one of those things.
Mm.
I look at that as like, oh my gosh, that is such a dependable husband.
Man, what?
I've had husbands that be like, let me get a shot of that breast milk just to taste it. They like, what's this gonna do? I've had why my baby like this milk so much? What you making? And you know, the woman, she feeding her family anyway. So how
Oh my God. Because I know how men are. I know how we are. Girl, let me
yeah,
taste that.
let me get a shot. You like
Oh
so
my God.
so
Yeah.
I think that the body does miraculous things. I think
Yes, yes.
that as long as you treat your body correctly, your body will produce things
Yeah.
that are needed for you. Again, I'm
Hmm.
from Eastern North Carolina.
Come on
So
now.
I have been seeing babies being bathed in breast milk
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
their cradle cap.
Oh
I
wow.
I remember even as a child having and my mama was the oldest out of 15.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
she
Ooh,
was right
15. Woo.
15 and she was right
Yeah.
up under her grandmama, right?
Mm.
So I
Hmm.
remember having ear infections back to back to back, it not
Sure.
stopping, getting antibiotics, but then because of the
Wow.
antibiotics, getting yeast infections, even as a child,
Mm. Wow.
because of that, um, and having to get another antibiotic to clear the yeast infection, but still
Sure.
getting an ear infection. So my mom was like, time out for all of this. I need you to pee in this cup. And I remember being like, what you finna do with that? And she was like, I'm gonna pour it in your ear. And I was like, my ear? You gonna put my urine in my ear? And she
Wow.
said, yep, this is gonna be your medicine. And
Sure,
I
sure.
remember leaning over in the sink. She had me climb on the cabinet, leaning over in
Hmm.
the sink,
Hmm.
having her pour it in my ear, being like, ooh,
Yeah.
this feels so much relief. Waking
Yeah.
up the next day and not having an
It's
ear
gone.
infection.
Yeah, I think sometimes the misconception is we're like you said, we just look at, oh, that's nasty. But the body heals itself. There's so
Yes,
many minerals and things within that that can help heal your own body. You know, we've heard people talk about, I think at one point, people were taking their own blood and putting it on their skin. I think people were doing that.
absolutely.
Now, I probably wouldn't do it, but I mean, I know
Yeah,
people were actually doing it for medical reasons and it was actually working for them. So the body has everything it needs to heal itself, which is so great to
yes,
this service that you provide for the community, and I really think it would. And I'm not a woman, so I can't really, I won't speak too much on it because I know everybody pain levels are different. But this service that you're offering, it seems like it's such a great way, a healthier option to have when it comes to this type of service. So, Precious, not only are you doing a good work, you're passionate about it, but I think it's bringing healing to that next generation of women as well as Black women, to have a healthier option, a different way of childbearing that's been around forever. Like
absolutely.
you said, our ancestors did this, and our children, hey, came out just fine. They're fine, and the generation before them were okay.
Yes.
So this is beautiful, Precious. Again, I can't say to you, again, sis, how proud I am of you. Here it is, 3 years later. You didn't quit. 4 years later, 5 years later, and you didn't quit. You kept going, and just to see exactly what you're doing, I must say I tip my hat off to you. I don't have one on, but I tip it off to you anyway.
Thank you.
And I'm hoping that this conversation will continue, as we have more of these conversations about this, because I think these are conversations, I think we take light of this type of conversation. You know
For
what I
sure.
mean? Yeah, we take light of it. So, if you would, in closing, you said so much that could impact the community. I still want to give you a little bit of time to say something to anyone that may be going after, their purpose in life, as well as the possibility as using the service of Precious Cargo to deliver their child. I'll give you a moment to say that, and then we'll close out. And you can tell the folks how they can follow you again, and you can give your,
Yeah,
yeah, your website.
absolutely. So, yeah, going back, our body is an ecosystem. It
Mm,
has bacteria, viruses, fungi, all the different things. So definitely make sure, ladies, that you are taking care of your body, no matter what that may look like for you, because we are all very much so individuals. Um, I believe there was a question posed before, like, well, what does a woman need to do when giving birth? The first thing you need to do is make sure that you have a trusted provider and that you
mm.
have a certified doula on your team. Um, I think just having a doula, well, ain't no think, I know having a doula minimizes um, cesarean rates, it minimizes epidural usage, and increases positive birth experiences.
Yeah,
Um, you can contact Precious Cargo Doula Services. We have free consultations available. So you can book your free consultation and look at our other services available at preciouscargonc.com. And if you are in need, if you are someone who can't afford those doula services, we do accept insurance as well as have payment plans. And you can always hop over to our nonprofit side because that's why we created it.
yeah,
Um, if you need resources, are you looking for connections within the community? Definitely reach out to us through our website contact page at preciouscargofoundation.org. Shoot us a message. We message you as promptly as possible because we don't want anybody just kind of hanging out there without those resources that they may need. So, again, we have our community baby shower coming up, our fourth
yay.
annual community baby shower. We have been able, through the Precious Cargo Foundation, we have been able to service over 400 families. After this community baby shower, it will be 500 plus families.
I love
Um,
it.
we have only been in business for 2 years now. So I'm super excited about the reach that we have
Yes.
within our community. So come on out to the community baby shower, get those resources that you need. We ask that you be currently pregnant or have the baby with you,
Hmm.
aunties, uncles, grandmas, and pawpaws. You cannot just pull up and be like, I got somebody at the house who need them. We got to see that one so we can make
That's
sure
right. That's right.
resources go
That's
to
right.
everybody that's in need.
That's
Um,
right.
and we'll be at Peeler Recreation Center in Greensboro, North Carolina, Saturday, May 3rd from 11 to 1.
I love it. Thank you so much. How do folks how can they follow you, Precious? How can they follow you?
Yes, so I'm on social media, almost every platform, at Precious Cargo NC. And from there, you should be able to find our other links to all of our other pages.
I love it. Precious, this totally has just an honor to have you here. You know, timing is everything. This was the perfect time to speak with you and introduce you again to our audience as our audience has grown a little bit now over the last couple of years. And
Yes.
so we have some fresh faces, fresh ears on this service that you're able to that you're able to give to the community, give back to the community. But not only that, the person, because a lot of times we buy into the individual. And I think people will be very, very pleased with who you are as a person as well. So, Precious, thank you so much again for stopping by again on the Ross Cloud podcast. We really do appreciate it.
I can't
So,
stop
listen,
smiling.
I know. So listen, this is the Ross Cloud podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Make it a great day. And remember, you too can become whatever you want to become. It's really, truly up to you. If it is to be, it's up to me. I'm Chris Ross, the Ross Cloud podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Black Ross Network. Peace.